unit I am dealing. The title is Introduction to Yoga and Yogic Practices. Introduction to Yoga and Yogic Practices. Yoga is a word which derives from the Sanskrit dhatu yuj. Yujyate anena iti yogaha. It is an etymological definition. Yujyate anena iti yogaha. That which unites is called yoga. Or yoga is a technique to unite the union between the individual self with the supreme self, the union of Atma with the Paramatma. This is a basic etymology. Now let us see different definitions based on the different textbooks. Let us see the first. According to Patanjali Yoga Sutras, definition of yoga: yogaha chitta vritti nirodhaha, or you can also pronounce yoga chitta vritti nirodhaha. Nirodhaha means restraining. Restraining of what? Chitta vrittis. The restraining the chitta vrittis is called yoga. Or we can say in another way, yoga is a technique to restrain the chitta vrittis. Yoga is a tool to restrain chitta vrittis. What is the meaning of the chitta vrittis? The thought waves of the mind. We need to restrain the thought waves of the mind by the abhyasa and vairagya. That is yoga chitta vritti nirodha. About more this definition we will be studying in our Patanjali Yoga Sutras. There are two definitions given by the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan Sri Krishna gives the two definitions. One is Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Samatvam means equanimity. Equanimity is yoga. Equanimity in our mind towards the failures and success is called yoga. So developing an attitude towards the results is yoga. What kind of attitude? The equanimity. Sometimes results will come more than your expectations. Sometimes results may come less than your expectations. Sometimes results may come opposite to your expectations. But without disturbing your mind, when you accept them, when you see the result as they are, that is called equanimity. Samatvam yoga uchyate is one of the definition. The second definition given by Bhagavan Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, that is yogaha karmasu kaushalam. What is yoga here? Here it is a kaushalam. Kaushalam means a skill, a mastery in the skills, the excellence in the performance is called kaushalam. In what? In karmasu, in all our actions. So performing the excellence in our actions is called yoga. So whatever we do, whatever we plan, we have to try to do our level best. That is called yogaha karmasu kaushalam. This is samatvam yoga uchyate and yogaha karmasu kaushalam will be discussed more elaborately under the karma yoga topic. Now there is one more definition, comes from the Yoga Vasishtha given by the Vasishtha Rishi. Manaha prashamanopayaha yoga ityabhidhiyate. Iti abhidhiyate. It is said. What is said? yoga iti abhidiyate. Yoga is said. What is that? Manaha prashamana upayaha. Yoga is a tool to calm down the mind according to Yoga Vasishtha. So mind plays very important role in our life. A trained mind is our friend. A untrained mind is our enemy. By the yoga practices, when you train your mind, it will be very calm and relaxed. That calm mind, relaxed mind is a trained mind. It is our friend. So, manaha prashamanopayaha yoga ityabhidhiyate. According to Yoga Vasishtha, it is one of the definitions. So in this slide, I am showing you the 4 definitions. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is restraining the thought waves according to the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Equanimity is yoga. Yoga karmasu kaushalam, skill in action or performing the excellence in our actions. These 2 definitions from the Bhagavad Gita. And manaprashamanopayaha yoga ityabhidiyate. Yoga is a tool to calm down the mind according to Yoga Vasishtha. Now, what is the origin of yoga? Where is the origin of yoga? From where this yoga is coming? The origin of yoga is traced to the Vedas. So we are having the 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharvana Veda, and this yoga can be traced in the Vedas. Especially you can see in the Rig Veda. These Vedas are coming from some thousands and thousands of years. Some people say 10,000 years. Some people say 15,000 years. But whoever says, they say some thousands of years. So in the yogic lore or in the yoga philosophy, the Lord Shiva is considered to be the Adi Yogi and Adi Guru. So Adinatha Shiva is our Adi Yogi, is the first Guru in the yoga. Is Lord Shiva as significantly, Lord Shiva is considered according to many yoga textbooks. Now let us see the history of yoga. The development of yoga can be traced back to over thousands of years ago. And this yoga having the long rich history. This history can be divided into the 4 periods. One is pre-Vedic period, the Vedic period, the classical yoga and post-classical yoga. What is a pre-Vedic period? That means before the Vedas. Oh, before the Vedas. What do you mean by before the Vedas? Let us understand little bit here. What are the Vedas? We say there are 4 Vedas, but before the 4 Vedas, the Vedic knowledge is there. The knowledge is there. It is there. It is scattered throughout India. The knowledge was scattered. The many rishis knows this knowledge. It is coming from the parampara. Every rishi is teaching to their students and they are teaching to their students. They are listening and absorbing the knowledge and teaching to their students. There is no written documents. No one is written anywhere. Everything is they used to listen and remember and they used to teach. So that was the time before the Veda Vyasa came into the picture. Then this our Veda Vyasa, also known as Badarayana, he went around across the India and he met all the rishis, almost all the rishis, and he gathered the knowledge and taken into the documentation. The first documentation is taken place in the time of the Veda Vyasa. Then he collected all the knowledge and he wanted to preserve that knowledge. Then he took a responsibility to preserve. Then he created the 4 Vedas. He created means he collected the knowledge like forming the books. Those days people used to write on the palm leaves. So they are collecting the knowledge and putting onto the palm leaves. It is like a 4 books. For example, when you go for a printing a book, if the book is so big, what we do, we'll publish in the 4 parts. What we say, the part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. So like that, Veda Vyasa, whatever the knowledge is collected and whatever he received in his intuitions, they kept on a paper, not exactly on the paper, on the palm leaves. So that time he categorized this knowledge into the 4 parts. Then each part is given a name. Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharvana Veda. These are the 4 names are given. So before this compilation, yoga was there. People are practicing the yoga. People are doing the meditation. People are doing the asana. People are doing the pranayama. People are following the yamaniyamas. Everything was there, but not documented. That period is called pre-Vedic period. Then next comes to the Vedic period. In the Vedic period, once the Badarayana, also known as Veda Vyasa, when he came into the picture, he compiled the 4 Vedas, he promoted the 4 Vedas to the people, and that period is called Vedic period. From that till the Maharshi Patanjali came into the picture, that entire period is considered as a Vedic period for the yoga point of view, for the classification point of view. Still we follow the Vedas, but still for the classification, for understanding little more effectively the history of yoga. And then Patanjali Maharshi came. The Patanjali Maharshi, who are thoroughly studied all the Vedas, then he want to contribute something to the society from the Vedas. So he was interested in the mind management. Then Patanjali Maharshi taken the topic of yoga from the Vedas. Then he compiled the sutras. Sutra is a specific literature. In the sutra, the letter should be minimum, the sentences should be minimum, the words in a sentence should be minimum. Then the knowledge should be so much. It is like a capsule, a seed form, a capsule form. That is called sutra literature. So Patanjali Maharshi wrote the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and he promoted the yoga. He started teaching to yoga to his disciples. So during this Patanjali Maharshi period can be considered as a classical yoga. Then after Patanjali Maharshi, till today, it is considered as a post-classical yoga. So after the Patanjali Maharshi, many other great Mahatmas came. Swatma Rama came, who wrote the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. Ghiranda Samhita is there, Shiva Samhita is there, Hatha Ratnavali is there. All those great textbooks comes under post-classical yoga. And today in India, we are having so many great Mahatmas like B.K.S. Iyengar, Baba Ramdev, etc. There are many people. All those people comes under post-classical yoga, including you and me also comes under post-classical yoga. It is a brief history about the yoga, how it is developed over thousands of years. Then what is the aim and objectives of yoga? Yoga means, please don't take as a asanas. Asanas are part of yoga. Pranayama is a part of yoga. Meditation is a part of yoga. Yama niyamas is a part of yoga. Yoga is a way of life. So once when you follow this way of life, yoga is a way of life. What are the aims? What are the objectives? It helps us deep relaxation at the muscular level. That means it helps to keep our annamaya kosha, the body level, very relaxed, and slows down the breath and maintains the rhythm of the breath. At the pranic level, at the pranamaya kosha level, your breath is going to become very rhythmic and systematic. You will have the deep breathing, more oxygen, more energy, and increases the creativity and willpower at your mind level. The creativity is increased, the willpower improves. then calms down the mind and sharpens the intellect at the intellectual level, and mind, your intellect will become very sharp, very sukshma, very subtle things we can able to understand the things, and also enhances the happiness and balances the emotions, which is most important in our life. Everyone is striving for what? For the happiness. We want to be happy. So yoga shows the way towards the happiness. Not only shows the way towards the happiness, and it enhances the happiness and balances the emotions. And also yoga helps to manifest the divinity within. Swami Vivekananda says each soul is a potentially divine. We have to manifest that divinity. Yoga helps us how to manifest this divinity within. Even Patanjali Maharshi says tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. Once when you do the chitta vritti nirodha, it helps us to establish in our own self. Yoga helps us to manifest our divinity within. Then there are a few principles of yoga and yogic practices for the modern times. What are these principles and yoga and yogic practices? Very popularly known as a Panchashil or 5 points. What are the 5 points? Proper exercise. Asanas helps us for the proper exercise. And pranayama is a proper breathing. Shavasana is a proper relaxation. The vegetarian diet is a proper diet. And Vedanta and meditation helps us for proper thinking. This asanas works like a lubricating system, and the pranayama, which helps us to improve our lungs capacity so that we can able to take the more oxygen. That when you take the more oxygen, and each and every cell in our body will get the oxygen, that means it is the energy. The more energy we get, so that we will be very active. Then shavasana, which is very important for repairing system in our body. When you are relaxing, whatever the stimulations are taken place in the body due to your work and any other things, those stimulations will get the relaxation. So we need to apply the technique stimulation and relaxation for the positive health. Only stimulation will not help to for the positive health, and only relaxation won't help for the positive health. If you are only relaxing all the time, lying down, you will become the lazy, lethargy, drowsy person. So we require the stimulation. But if you are all the time stimulating asana, you will be overstrained. It's why what we want, stimulation and relaxation. The stimulation is the asanas, helps for the stimulation. Shavasana helps for the relaxation. Then comes the proper diet. I know some of you are thinking, why you mentioned here vegetarian diet? Why should I should not take the non-vegetarian? That is up to you. But so the proper diet is a vegetarian is the best, because it is a sattvic diet, that which helps us for the easy digestion. That is a soothing for our sadhana, for our practices. For the in the field of yoga, vegetarian diet is advised. Okay. The next, proper thinking, that is a meditation. We need to train our mind. Meditation is the best tool to train our mind, to prepare our mind. Then Vedanta gives the most important knowledge about who am I. The knowledge about who am I will be taught by the Vedanta. Vedanta is nothing but end of the Veda. End of the Veda does not mean in the book last pages. No, Vedanta means the Upanishads. The knowledge of the Upanishads helps us to channelize our thinking process Upanishads helps us to think in a logically, systematically to understand who am I. So with this, I am concluding the introduction to the yoga and yogic practices. So the more talks, please watch in the upcoming videos so that you will have the more knowledge here. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat.